Well, good evening, folks, or good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. Quincy Kane here, and this is live stream number 112. This is the first stream of 2024, so Happy New Year, everyone. Good to see you all. Catching up with the chat so far. I think we've only got, oh, hey, we got Jack. Hey, Jack, Happy New Year. Hope you're doing well. We've got Chad in the chat. Chad, hope you're doing well. Chad said he had a fairly low-key but a nice Christmas and New Year's, and it's definitely a good time of year to just kind of slow down, take it easy. For me, December is always a kind of year to kind of just recharge, you know, like I definitely start to slow down, but I kind of reflect on the past year and sort of take note of things. And it's a time for me to kind of reset and get ready for the next year, you know, and hopefully hitting it hard this year and stuff. So, Jack, I hope you're doing well, brother. How was your Christmas? How was your New Year's? I hope it all went well. Let me know if there were any particular highlights or anything like that. For myself, I can say Christmas was great. Again, I love it. It was nice just to have some time with the family. And what we did, we had actually celebrated Christmas together. I have a big family, so we all got together and celebrated. You know, the kids got to open their presents and stuff, and did that a week early. And then actual Christmas Day was kind of with just my household, you know, my parents and my brothers, and that was just nice having some, again, a pretty easygoing Christmas. You know, we watched a Christmas movie. We ended up watching Surviving Christmas, and which was a fun one. It was a good one to watch with the family. And then after that, that week, we actually, our whole family, I think it was like 21 of us total, something, a pretty big group. We all went to Williamsburg, Virginia for a few days, about 4 days. And we were there. And to be honest, some of the highlights of that, just hanging out at the resort, like it was just fun, just to have some time with no obligations and just to be with the family. Some of my favorite moments were we brought a PS2 with us, and we had a multi-tap so we could play 4-player, and just getting to play some video games with my brothers and my nephews. That was a lot of fun. We pulled out some old ones. I don't know if anyone's ever played Red Dead Revolver. You might be familiar with Red Dead Redemption or Red Dead Redemption 2. I think that was the most recent release, but way back in, like, I don't know, 2004 or something like that was Red Dead Revolver, and we used to play the heck out of that game. It has a 4-player, and it was just a fun Western that we got to play. And one of my brothers really likes Godzilla, and he's got a Godzilla game, and that's 4-player, and we had a lot of fun playing that. Also, my nephew brought a bunch of his Nerf guns, and so we just had Nerf battles in the in the room, and just, you know, using the couch for cover and all that kind of stuff. So that was a lot of fun. Swimming in the pool, just playing racquetball, you know, taking advantage of the amenities at the resort. That was a lot of fun. And we actually had, I guess what I'm trying to say with all this is we had plans to go to Busch Gardens, which we did, but it really we didn't really need to do anything all that complicated. Just having some time to just be together was just such a blast and such a great. And to be honest, like, I love Busch Gardens. I love theme parks. That's one of my favorite theme parks. The day before, the park was closed for weather, and so the next day they allowed people who weren't able to go that day to come in, and so the park was overcrowded. So it was a very challenging day at the park. Now we made our best of it. We still had a good time, and thankfully, you know, my mom was actually able to get a refund just because we were not able to ride all the rides and see all the shows that we wanted to do. And it sounded like they were very understanding about that because, you know, it was too overcrowded. So it was a challenging experience, but we still made the best of it, still had a fun time. And it was just a great trip. So definitely looking forward to this year. Definitely have some exciting things. If you've got any plans or goals, Jack, I don't know if you've got any plans or goals that you're looking forward to this year. Chad, if there's anything you're looking forward to, you know, let me know. I'm going to kick things off with an instrumental track, but for this particular stream, I'm playing whatever songs you guys would like to hear. I'm playing original songs, so you can find them. You know, if you're watching on Twitch, I've got it posted at the top of the chat. I think I've pinned it. I've got a list of all my songs. If you're watching on YouTube, and you look in my description, you should be able to see a list of all my songs. So whatever song you would like me to play, just let me know, and I will play it just for you. But as of right now, I'm going to go ahead and kick things off with an instrumental, and then we'll go from there. No name for this one. This is just kind of a kind of a unfinished track of mine, kind of a cool idea that I probably won't finish till the long future, but, kind of a fun one to jam on, so hope you like it. Oh boy, my track. Darn it. Don't know how it sounded there, but something glitched out and now there's a delay. Let's see if that... All right, there we go. Sorry about that. Good way to kick things off. Eesh, a little rough. Man. Gosh. All right. I gotta, maybe I haven't practiced in a little while, so this should be a fun stream. All right. Let's see what's going on in the chat. For anyone just tuning in, don't be shy. Say hello. And if you'd like me to play a song for you, one of my songs, let me know which song you'd like to hear. If you're not familiar with any of my songs, no worries. Just pick a, whichever title sounds good. You can find a list of my songs in the description. And yeah, whichever of those songs sound good to you, just pick a title that sounds interesting and be like, let's see what that one sounds like, and we'll see if you like it or not. But if you are familiar with any of my music, again, all my music is, or I should say the songs that I've released are available on, what do you call it? Available on Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. Pretty much wherever you can listen to music, you should be able to find my songs there. So cool. And hopefully everything's coming through all right. I am getting like some notifications saying like that there's something, that maybe my stream signal isn't as smooth as it could be. And, I'm not doing anything particularly different. So I don't know if it's maybe there's just, I don't know, some kind of issue happening. So hopefully you guys are getting a smooth stream. Hopefully the audio is coming through okay. Hopefully the video is coming through all right as well. So let's see. So Jack, I don't know if you, yep, I'm doing well. I don't know if, I'm just seeing a second, you came in and said, Happy New Year, Quincy and Chad, and then you just commented, hey, Quincy and Chad, how is everyone doing tonight? And so I don't know if you were just trying to say hello to anyone else or if, you felt like your first one didn't come through or something. But I'm doing good. Jack, I hope you're doing well. I don't know if you heard, I was just kind of asking how everyone's Christmas went. How was your Christmas? How was your New Year's? any particular highlights from that. And I don't know if you heard me sharing about, being away with my family at Williamsburg and all that. But that was great, just having just playing video games and having Nerf battles with my nephew and all of that. So, so anyone who's just tuning in, don't be shy, say hello. I hope you all, if there's any particular highlights, let me know. I'd be curious to hear, how things were, how your Christmas was. Whatever song you would like to hear, just let me know and I'll play it just for you. I've got, you can find in the description, you can find a list of my songs. And if there's one you like, I'll play it just for you. If you're not familiar with any of my music, well, no worries. Just kind of check out a title and just pick one that sounds kind of interesting and I'll play it and we'll find out if you like it or not. So, awesome. Well, the new year is always exciting time. I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely a planner. And basically, I've been taking a lot of time to just kind of reflect on the past year and sort of pay attention to first off, just taking note of things that worked. So, Chad, while you're out there, let me just say, I really appreciate you. I really appreciate the community that you've built, the Facebook community, and that carries over to here on YouTube with the live streams and stuff. And I was making an effort to grow my live streams, and looking back at last year, it's actually pretty amazing, how my streams have changed. Last year, I will say, last year I just was not getting a whole lot of engagement, not a whole lot of activity. And then ever since I kind of started hooking up with you and your crew and getting to know all of you guys, the streams have been just doing a lot better. It's been nice getting more views and more engagement and that kind of thing. And we'll see if that happens. If I haven't streamed in a while and I come back, it can be kind of there's still... I'm saying that, and then, we'll see how this stream goes. I don't know if a lot of people are going to show up or if it's just going to be a few, I still get those, kind of ghost town streams from time to time, but not as often as I used to. It used to be like that for almost every stream, and things have definitely been more engaging. It's been nice to kind of meet some other musicians or just music, just lovers of music, and so I really appreciate that. Jack says, Christmas was tough, but I did enjoy spending Christmas Eve with my sister and her friend. New Year's Eve is always tough. I watched the Lord of the Rings films. Well, first off, I'm sorry that some things were tough. I hope you were still able to make the best of it. And I'm glad that, Christmas Eve went well. And I'm glad you got to watch the Lord of the Rings films. I actually, I don't know if I had mentioned this. I'd been wanting to watch them, and I recently watched them myself. And man, I just love those movies. They're so good. I really wanted to watch the extended version. I have not seen the extended cut of Lord of the Rings. I have not had a chance to watch those, but I didn't have access to it anywhere, so all I had were just my original DVDs with just the theatrical cut. So that's what I ended up watching. But it's hard. It's kind of hard to take some time because I love those movies, but they're pretty lengthy, and so sometimes it's hard to make time for that. But it was getting to the end of the year, and I was like, you know what? I really want to watch these movies. I'm just going to do it. And so I might have stayed up a little late, making it happen. But I was just so glad I did. Inspiring. And particularly, I don't know about you, Jack, but I was I can say for myself, I was very focused on Aragorn's character, the character Aragorn, because all right, should be good. I just one thing I admire about Aragorn is that for anyone who's seen Lord of the Rings, he's the rightful heir to the throne, and he's kind of avoiding that because of fear that he'll make the same mistake that his ancestors did. But he's still a man of he still does his purpose, his duty, his duty to serve people and use what he does have, the resources he does have to still serve and help and protect and be with those. And I really wanted to observe him because he's sort of this character that is clearly in a leadership role, or at least he kind of elevates to one, but he still somehow remains humble. And I can just say for myself personally, I think that's sometimes something that I'm almost a little scared of, where I have I don't know, I have a lot of thoughts, and I've learned a lot of things that have helped me, and so I kind of want to have the opportunity to share those things and kind of be more bold about speaking those things that have helped me and experiences that I've had in my life, and share those with other people in hopes to help them. But sometimes I think I'm a little worried to do that, in fear that I might come off as arrogant or just full of myself, and that's not at all my intention. And so I was kind of enjoying watching his character and just seeing how he handled situations, and how he sort of grew into that, and to the end where he does become king, and even as king remaining that, or maintaining that humility. And that's something that I very much appreciated. But yeah, just absolutely loved watching those movies, and again, kind of drew a lot of inspiration from them. Chad said, I watched Rebel Moon and The Creator and loved both movies. Awesome. I know you were looking forward to Rebel Moon coming out. I feel like I'd heard of The Creator. I'll have to check that out. I hadn't seen that one yet. Haven't watched either one yet, but I was definitely curious about them. And then it says, I have the extended Lord of the Rings and The Hobbits. Awesome. Yeah, awesome movie. Yeah, I love them. They're great. And I like the series too. Jack says the Mouth of Sauron was pretty vile. Aragorn is a boss. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's a great character, and definitely I don't know, draw a lot of inspiration from his character. So kind of been, that was sort of something I was looking to. I don't know if you guys do this, but going into each year, I'm always striving to grow and improve, and I kind of look back on what I learned last year, and I focus on the things that worked, and I intend to sort of double down on those things. So I'm looking to improve the streams. I'm looking to release more music, and I'm definitely leaning towards like quality over quantity. I look at the things that worked, and then I also look at the things that didn't quite work. And I do think last year I tend to fall into this trap where sometimes I'm trying to keep up with how much content I put out. That I'm putting out a lot of content, but to me it always feels like a little bit of filler stuff, like I'm doing it more so just because I can do it and just to have something, but there's not really a whole lot of intention or anything that deep behind it. And I just get a lot more satisfaction, and I think I get a lot better response when I just put in the effort to make something meaningful and then put that out. It might take a little longer to get it out, but I think it usually is better received. And so that's something I'm kind of shifting my priorities around this year, and hoping to prioritize song production and getting more music out. So that's a personal goal of mine. And I think sometimes it's nice. My mom had shared this devotional that she read, and it kind of talked about having a word for each year, and sort of finding a word that kind of defines like what you want to work towards or what you want to improve. And for me, I can just say as a goal, my word is boldness. I just, like I said, I feel like, I've been working on music for a while, and I think I tend to play it safe a little bit, in just fears of, no one liking it. I guess to put it plainly, it's like you kind of just write lyrics, and maybe you have a meaning behind them, but the songs aren't very clear about what you're singing about. People there's no like obvious meaning behind it, and so because of that, the words don't really have any true impact, and kind of the same thing with the music. And I can just say, on the bright side of that, it kind of keeps you safe, but on the downside, it just doesn't really have much impact. Anything that's kind of worth saying, I think there's always going to be a little bit of risk, and so I just want to be a bit more bold in just kind of sharing my values and my beliefs and my music and getting more songs out there. And I think the scary part is, not everyone's going to connect with it, but I think the people that do connect with it are going to appreciate it more. So that's just a personal goal of mine. I don't know if you guys have a personal goal. I don't know if there's a certain word that represents, how you want to better yourself this year. Maybe there's a single word. Maybe it's, I think someone said pause was their word. They kind of felt like they were always rushing, worrying, and they just needed to take time to pause and kind of recollect themselves. Maybe the word is, I'm trying to think of like another example. Maybe the word is appreciate or gratitude. Grateful. Maybe the word is to take time to recognize the blessings that you have in your life and to be grateful for them. So it could be anything. So yeah, I don't know if any of you guys kind of have a word but feel free to share them. Jack says, I think I'm behind on the stream. I don't know if there is some kind of weird lagging thing happening. I'm a little concerned about that. I was seeing some of your chats, some of your comments, but yeah, Chad was saying, let me see, last thing is, yeah, Chad was saying the creator is robots versus humans, war in the future. Yeah, definitely sounds pretty cool. Jack, you had said you can probably catch the Mouth of Sauron scene from Return of the Kings on YouTube. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, if that's on the extended version, then maybe I might not be familiar with that because I know the Eye of Sauron, but yeah, I don't know that I know the Mouth of Sauron, so I'll have to look that up on YouTube. And yeah, I don't know if you're behind on the stream or not. Hopefully you can catch up. Bam, this is current, but I guess if you're behind, I might be saying it's current. You know, it's 6:50. I can say that 6:50 Eastern Standard Time. But anyway, this particular stream, I'm taking requests. So whatever song you'd like to hear, if there is a certain song of mine that you'd like me to perform for you, just let me know. You can find my songs listed in the description, and yeah, whichever song you would like to hear, just let me know and I'll play it for you. And if we, if no one has a request, I'll just kind of pick one and I'll play another song for you guys. I'm definitely working on a new song, and I've been practicing it. I think I was dealing with some cold. Some of you know that from my last few streams. I was getting over some cold. It was a little hard for me to sing, and this song is definitely I'm really excited about this new song that I've written, but it is pushing me a little bit. It's pushing me in my vocal performance, and so I've been having to kind of practice for it a bit. I'm confident that I can do it, but it's just, it's not like, oh yeah, just write it and sing it. That's all there is to it. It's like I'm going to have to put a little bit of practice into just learning how to sing it and learning how to sing it and play it at the same time. So I'm not sure when I'm going to share it. Hopefully it's going to be soon, but it's definitely on the horizon. So there's that. I've been working on some song production lately. I'm working on a new release. Again, I'm always scared to kind of say like when it's going to be released, but I can say I have a goal to release it either at the at the end of this month. I'm hoping to release it at the end of this month. It might be the beginning of February, but my target is the end of this month. And so we'll see. Jack says, yeah, the Mouth of Sauron is in the extended edition, and I think I got caught up. The live button actually works. Well, that's good. Yeah, glad that gets you caught up. So, yeah, I don't know if you've got a request, if there's a song you'd like to hear, but just let me know, and I'll play it for you. Yeah, I was saying I've got a song. I'm planning to release Brothers to the End. Some of you are familiar with that song. If you're not, I might go ahead and play it in just a moment here. But I've been working on some production stuff, so I'm hoping to improve the quality of my songs as I release them. Hoping to just improve my bass tone, my guitar tone, my drums, just getting stuff sounding like really good so that I can, kind of just have like a good system going of releasing high quality songs. And it's been fun. I've been learning a lot. I've been learning a little more about like the production side of music and like the arrangements. I've been listening to a lot of hit songs lately, like hit as in like 2000s, 2010s hits and stuff, in my genre and like alternative metal. So listening to like Linkin Park, Evanescence, even like some Nickelback. What else? Mostly metal stuff, but even like just rock stuff, like some Paramore and some Avril. I think I checked out some Avril Lavigne. But I was just listening to these songs and just paying attention to these layers that kind of go unnoticed. Like a lot of those songs, you don't realize how much is actually happening. Like every few verses, there's always like a new element that kind of comes in. It's either another instrument layer or it's some kind of effect, some kind of transition sound that kind of sets up the next section of the song. And it could be and lots of vocal layers. That's definitely something like I thought they didn't really matter. When I was producing songs, I was just trying to get them out as quickly as I could. But a lot of people tend to, usually when I talk to other like, mixing engineers and stuff, they'll be like, "How come you don't have any more vocal layers?" And I kind of thought like it was just, wasn't quite worth the time. Oh, hey Stan, hope you're doing well. If there's a song you'd like to hear, let me know, and I'll play it just for you. I'm just talking about kind of some song production, some goals I've been working on, and things I've been learning. Yeah, Chad says big Avril fan. Yeah, I think she's great. I think her songs are great, and there's actually a lot that I kind of a lot of inspiration I draw from her just in her whole brand, just kind of, I think, the music and the marketing are just very like cohesive, and like her image and style and her, her style of music, and it just, I don't know, it all plays out like very nicely. And so it's not that I want to replicate that, but I definitely try to look at like the mechanics of that, like the structure of that, and apply it. And so same thing with the music. I've just been listening to a lot of the details in song arrangement, and it's once you kind of start like picking up on the stuff, like going back and listening to my songs, I start to realize like, oh wow, I can hear what's missing. And so that's some stuff I'm kind of excited about. And yeah, basically, I can say like what I was planning to do was with each release, it was basically going to be some kind of basically a demo version, just to get my songs out as quickly as I could. But now I am striving to release like finished mixes. And yeah, like I said, I'm just trying to lean more towards on quality than quantity, and hopefully over time the quality will I'll be able to release it more frequently, and that quantity will raise as well. But definitely focusing on the quality. We've got someone on Twitch, unofficial turn up. Yep, I don't know if I'm reading that right, but hello, sorry for bothering you. I don't think you're bothering. I want to offer promotion of your channel, viewers, followers, views, chatbots, etc. The price is lower than any competitor. The quality is guaranteed to the best, flexible, convenient. Well, I definitely go to streamrise.com. I appreciate the offer. I'm not sure that I'm worried about anything like that right now, but thank you for sharing. Jack says, Brothers to the End would be my choice. New Year's Eve is always sad for me because I used to spend it with my little brother, and I miss him every day, but especially on days like New Year's Eve. Definitely sorry for that. I know there's a few people that sometimes watch and who have experienced loss, and unfortunately I can't, well, I don't know if unfortunate is the right word, but while I can't relate to that, I can definitely, I guess, empathize with it, just because just I know how much my brothers mean to me, how much my family means to me, and so I'm certainly very sorry for your losses, and I hope. But I hope you're still able to find gratitude for the things that you still have, and that you can rest easy, and just appreciating the times that you did have with your family. But yeah, I will play Brothers to the End for you. Chad said there are some really cool things you could do with vocal layers. Yep, that is for sure. Harmonies are kind of the easy one, just doubling vocals. I used to not be able to double my vocals because I couldn't sing consistently enough, but I've definitely gotten a bit better at singing more consistently, so doubles should be more doable. But even some cool effects, more like the distorted vocal stuff, even playing with like some pitch shifters to pitch it down an octave, you can kind of get some cool effects. So I don't know if all that stuff is going to work for my style, but I'll definitely play around with it. Stan says, Happy New Year. Yep, Happy New Year to you, Stan. Jack says, I like Avril Lavigne. She's not produced anything in quite a while, has she? Chad says, 2019 and 2022, she had albums. And yeah, I think I remember listening to some. I hadn't listened to the full albums, but I checked out some of her newer stuff. I need to check it out again. What I really liked was, on TikTok, she did a little duet with Tony Hawk she did her song Skater Boy, and they did like a little reverse swap. So it started off with her, and then it kind of zooms in on her tie, and then pulls out, and then Tony Hawk's wearing the tie, and then he does a few tricks on a little mini ramp. And I think that was a pretty popular TikTok. But I'm a big skate fan. I love Tony Hawk, so that was a fun one to see. All right, so Jack requested Brothers to the End, so I'm going to go ahead and play that for you. If anyone else has a song request, just let me know what song you'd like to hear again. You can find my songs in the description on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitch, I've posted them, I've pinned them to the top of the chat, so you can find them there. But whatever song you'd like to hear, just let me know, and I will play it just for you. So Jack, this one goes out to you. I hope you like it. This one's called Brothers to the End. unbreakable, bonded by our passion, undeniable, brothers till the very end. Just a bunch of outcasts, only meant for slaughter. But we will overcome this if we can band together. Look into my eyes, grab a hold of my hand, remember who we are, brothers till the very end. Remember who we are. Just me. There you go, Jack. Again, that one was Brothers to the End. And that one went out to Jack. Hope you like that one. Again, that's going to be the next song that I release, so it's coming soon. Hopefully the end of this month, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I can say, the only issue, I definitely, I'm very determined to release more music, but I have, the beginning of the year is kind of, what do you call, kind of me like preparing for battle, like kind of getting set up. And so with a lot of song production, I've been trying to improve the quality of my my music. So I've been revisiting like my project settings, the software that I use for producing my music. I've been revisiting it and just trying to get my drums sounding better, trying to get my bass sounding better, and trying to get my guitar sounding better. So kind of getting all that stuff set up, sounding nice, so that when I do start releasing songs, I can just go through the production process and just make something that sounds good as quickly as possible. So I'm just about done with that phase, but again, I don't want that to... I don't want to spend too much time on that. So let's see here. Some hellos happening in the chat. Yep, hellos to Stan. Stan makes a request for Move On. All right, I'm going to play that for you in just a moment here. Stan says, sorry I'm late, new phone. Had to redo a few things to the new device. I'm glad you were able to get a new phone, and hopefully it's serving you well. I hope... hopefully you can get everything resolved. I know anytime you have to like upgrade to something or switch to something, it's always going to be a little adjustment. Sometimes it's really hard because you're so used to what you used to have, And you might even have something nicer, but it's almost a little inconvenient just because, yeah, just because you have to, you got to reset up things, got to learn things. But yeah. Thanks for the emojis, you all. Yeah, hope you all enjoyed the song. I'm gonna dive into move on in just a moment here. Stan, I don't know if you caught, but earlier I was talking about, I was sharing. I think New Year is a great time. I know a lot of people make resolutions, and the problem with resolutions is that usually it's there's no build up to it, and so it's like, how do I say this? There's no build up to it. So it's just like, I'm going to start doing this. And, that's the plan. And maybe they do good for a few days, but then they break that resolution. And what ends up happening, they're just like, well, I messed up. Maybe next year, they kind of give up. So I think what's better than resolutions is goals, something to work towards. So if you mess up, it's okay. That's practice. You just try to do better next time. And, so I'm definitely a goal setter. I'm definitely one to strive towards things. I always look to improve on whatever it is I'm working on. So I don't know if any of you guys have any goals that you feel like sharing. But along with that, one thing that was kind of interesting, my mom had shared a devotional with me about kind of having a word for the year, a certain word, like just one word, and kind of letting that sort of filter everything you do. Like everything you do, what's one word that would just help you kind of be a better version of yourself? And so, for example, like for me, I'm sharing this with you guys, but for me, the word is boldness. And all I can say is, like, I've worked very hard just kind of trying to hone my craft as a musician, as an artist, being able to produce music, being able to make content, trying to improve my singing, try to take care of my health and my, so even other areas of not just musical areas, but in my relationships, socially, like with my family or friends, whatever it might be. In my physical health and fitness, that kind of stuff, skateboarding, whatever it might be, I'm always trying to improve in those things. But my word for I work on that stuff, but I think sometimes I can be a little shy with it. Like I just kind of how to say this? Okay, like I love writing songs. But why is it not good enough for me to just, hey, we got Veronica, hopefully I'm saying that right, Veronica10 on Twitch. Hope you're doing well. Where do you upload your music? You can find my music on Spotify or anywhere you like to listen to music. So I use DistroKid, which distributes it to a lot of different sources. So yeah, you can find my music pretty much anywhere you like to listen to. You can find it on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, whatever you like. And I'm taking requests for this stream. And so you can find the song list. You should be able to see it pinned at the top of the chat. I'm talking about goals for the new year and having a word. And what I was just sharing, just to kind of catch you up, I was just saying how, I've been working, I always strive to kind of improve at whatever I'm working at. But, when it comes to songs, it's so easy to, like I could just write these songs and just kind of, not put them out there. I could just record them. Like I don't have to have a professional mix. I could just write the song, be satisfied with it for myself and kind of just keep writing it. But, obviously something kind of drives me. Like I want to share it. I want to share my music and I, the hope is that there are other people out there who might connect with it. That's what I'm always looking for. And it's kind of scary to do that, but for some reason that's what I want to do. And, like it or not, that's going to require me having to do some bold things. It's going to require me to like, I guess there's something in me, like it's a lot more comfortable to just kind of keep things to myself, just stay to myself and just not worry about what's going on outside in the world and that kind of thing. But there's obviously something that compels me to want to share it and want to connect with people. And I think that probably goes for a lot of things. I think, everyone has different gifts and interests and passions. And I think we are meant to use those gifts, use those things that we are passionate about and use them to to connect with other people, And so that's kind of what I want to do with my music. And so my word for me would be the word boldness. I just want to be more bold, and I'm not, that's the word, but that's something that I'm working towards. So that doesn't mean that like right off the bat I'm going to be very good at it. It's going to be something that I'm working towards over the year. But just with everything I do in my personal life and in my career, just trying to be more bold with the things I do. And hopefully that will reflect. So I don't know if y'all have a certain word that maybe kind of represents, what you'd like to improve on, what you'd like to grow from. Vero says, I'm from Pakistan. Well, it's awesome to have some viewers from Pakistan. I'm going to play a song here in just a moment, so just hang in there, and maybe you'll like it. And if you'd like to request a song, again, you can find it at the top of the chat. You should see it pinned, just a list of all my song titles. I know if you haven't heard any of my music, you might not know what song to request, but just, pick a title that sounds interesting, like, oh, I wonder what that sounds like, and I'll play it for you, and we'll find out if you like it or not. Catching up with the chat here, Stan says, so, I could hear you and watch the stream. I had to sing with Google to chat with you. Let's see. Sign into Google to chat with you. That's kind of interesting. So you could see it, but I guess you weren't signed into your profile is what it was. So you just weren't signed in to where you could actually engage with the stream. So I got you. Jack says, I find Avril Lavigne somewhat similar to I don't know if that's Alanis Morissette, except far more pop friendly. That's kind of interesting. I'll have to. I'm going to copy and paste that name. I'll have to look that up and see if I like any of that music or not. So, yeah, very interesting. Thanks for sharing. What do we got here? Jack says goals. Maybe eat less processed food. Hopefully improve my depth perception enough that I don't need to use my cane every day. Well, I think those are definitely good goals to work towards. And yeah, remember, you're working towards it. So you might not get it perfect, these first couple months and stuff, but just try to do a little better each time. That's the one thing I've had to learn is like, it's not about being perfect right away. It's just working towards it. It's just being a little better than you were yesterday. And so, and sometimes you're going to slip up. Sometimes you're going to have step backs, but, just keep striving, just keep pushing, and by the end of the year, definitely look at where you started, and then look at where you are now, and you might be very surprised. I'll give an example of that. So Stan requested a song, "Move On," and this is a song that talks about, sometimes we can get so caught up with what we're working towards that we don't realize like how much progress we've actually made, and so this is actually a good song for the new year because it's a good time to reflect, like take some time and look back and see like where you were and see where you're at now. And you might be surprised, like, man, I've really made a lot of progress here. And so for one example, I can say with these streams, my first few streams that I started with were, pretty rough like last year. Like last year, just not a whole lot of engagement, not a whole lot happening. And this past year, I've had a lot more consistency and a lot more engagement, and even the quality of the streams. Like I've been, kind of trying to dress up a little more for the streams. I got the lighting in place, and kind of got some segments figured out. So I don't know. Streams got a whole lot better. They were a lot better at the end of last year than they were at the beginning of last year. So. We'll see. So definitely, take some time to kind of reflect on, where you've been and see where you're going. So I'm going to dive into the song. Vero says, I'm also in, I do work for musicians. Okay, cool. Or you work in music too. That's very cool. Hopefully you like the kind of music that I'm playing. I'm not sure what kind of genre you're into, but my music is kind of alternative metal kind of stuff. So it's a little heavy, heavier guitars. Let me get my backing track set up. But yeah, hopefully you like it. I'm going to play this song. This was one requested by Stan. And yeah, I think this is a good one for the new year. This is a good one to just take some time to kind of see just how far you've come, whatever you've been working towards, looking at where you were and seeing where you are now. And yeah, you might be surprised. So, all right, Stan, this one goes out to you. This one's called Move On. Here we go. obsessed. You're blind to your progress. See how far you've come. Stay strong. You can move on, so move on. See how far you've come. Stay strong. You can move on, so move on. Taste and see this bitter memory. You once were so weak, but now you've been set free. Yeah! See how far you've come. Stay strong. You can move on, so move on. See how far you've come. Stay strong. You can move on, so move on. So move on. When you find yourself at the end of your road, you know it's not over. When you find yourself at the end of your rope, you know it's not over. You've been down this road more than once before, and it won't stop you this time. Set up for your call. Stay strong. You can move on, so move on. See how far you've come. Stay strong. You can move on. Thank you. Again, that one was called Move On. That one was requested by Stan. Thanks for the request, Stan. Hope you enjoyed it. For anyone just tuning in, don't be shy. Say hello. And I'm taking requests for my original songs. So if there's a song of mine that you'd like to hear, just let me know, and I will play it just for you. You can find, if you're watching on YouTube, you can find my songs in the description. If you're watching on Twitch, it should be pinned at the top of the chat. So, and that song I just played, that was requested by Stan. That one was called Move On, and I have released that song. So if you'd like to hear it again, it is available on Spotify or wherever you like to listen to music. So I'm going to go ahead and post a link for that. There you go. So if you'd like to check out that song again later, there's the link to do so. Catching up with the chat here. Hey, we got Daniel in the chat. Daniel, good evening. At work, just stopping by for a bit. Well, Daniel, appreciate you stopping by. If you've got a song request, if there's something I can play for you real quick, let me know, and I'll see if I can squeeze that in for you. Let's see, what do we got here? Catching up, Jack was saying there's a quote from the old TV show Gravity that left an impression on me. A pastor tells a widower struggling with suicidal thoughts, have courage, life is short, and you're wasting so much precious time. And yeah, I think that's so true. That's kind of, it's very easy to get so caught up in the now. And but when you think in the long term, you know, I mean, life, you've got one life, and you know, now I believe you know, through Jesus Christ that there is eternal life. But as far as this physical life on earth, you've got one life, and so I agree with that. Like, have courage. Like, what's the point of living in fear? That's something I've certainly had to overcome. Is like, you know, fear is such a slave master. You know, like, it's so easy to become such a slave to fear, and I just hate. I hate it when fear is what motivates my decisions. When I do a decision, or I don't do something because I was afraid. That's just a personal thing that I hate, and I strive to overcome. And so again, that's kind of what I'm battling against. Is you know, my word for this year being boldness, is to basically, you know, the stuff that scares me, rather than letting it rule me. You know, having the boldness to face it and overcome it, and do what it is that I'm going after, in spite of fear. And so I think that's such a great thing, you know, rather than, you know, wasting time on things that are already done, or things that don't matter, or you know, or being too afraid to step out and do something. You know, it's like, you know, make it count. You know, life is such an adventure, and it's, you know, it's so much more fulfilling when you face that fear, rather than letting it keep you hindered. Stan says, it's hard for me to pick one word. I would say me. Okay, that's an interesting one. I don't know if by me, I don't know if you want to expound on that, but maybe, I don't know if by me you mean to invest in yourself, like trying to better and refine yourself. I don't know if you mean to appreciate yourself. Maybe there's certain things about you that that you like and maybe dislike, and maybe you're trying to learn to just be more accepting of who you are. But you know, I think it's always best to strive to be the best version of ourselves. And you know, I think you're a great friend and a great person. And so yeah, I don't know exactly what the word is, but I do hope that yeah, I hope whatever word kind of helps you sort of focus and steer your decisions towards something that that helps you feel more accomplished and more fulfilled. You know, I definitely hope that helps. Jack says, anxiety epitomizes who I am right now, but resilient is the one I want to eventually apply to me. So perhaps your word is resilience, and I think that's a great word. You know, maybe along with that, you know, perseverance, just learning, like, you know, no matter the struggle, no matter the fear, just learning to overcome that and face that. And you know, for all of you, you know, I appreciate you all sharing that. And Jack, definitely rooting for you. Stan, rooting for you. And again, you know, this is the beginning of the year, and so anything that you kind of set out to do, you might not be perfect at it right away, and that's okay. All that really matters is that you're working towards it, and that you're striving, and that you're trying to do just a little better than you did last time. And you know, I'm rooting for you, and I believe you can overcome that. I believe, you know, you don't have to you don't have to be a slave to anxiety anymore. I believe you can overcome that and better yourself, become a better version of yourself. So, Stan says, sounds awesome. Thank you. Jack says, good choice, Stan. Well, thank you guys. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you for the applause. Some hellos. Yep. Vero says, cool, really, and awesome. Well, I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, so anyone just tuning in, don't be shy, say hello. And yeah, I'm playing original songs. You know, these are songs that I've written. Some of you, if you're regulars, you've heard these songs before. If you're new, well, no worries. You know, we'll find out if maybe you like my music or not. You know, if you've never heard any of my music, again, if you're watching on YouTube, there is in the description you can find a list of all my songs, and just have a look at the titles and just pick one that sounds interesting, and I'll play it for you, and we'll find out if you like it or not. You know, if you're watching on Twitch, again, you should be able to find my list of songs at the top of the chat. It should be pinned, so so hopefully you can find it there. But whatever song you'd like to hear, just let me know, and I will play it just for you. Anyone else who's just tuning in, if you're kind of curious what I was just talking about with Jack and with Stan, I was kind of sharing how going into the new year, you know, I think it's good to set goals, and we were talking about picking a word just a single word to represent, to kind of encapsulate what you are striving towards this year for anything, for your career goals, for your health goals, fitness goals, personal goals, hobbies, family, relationships, that kind of thing, any kind of goal. What's a word that sort of encapsulates that? And I sort of shared mine. My word is boldness. I've been working on a lot of stuff, and, like it or not, the things I want to do, if I really want to succeed at them, I have to be willing to share them, and to make them meaningful and impactful. I'm going to have to be bold in what I share, rather than playing it safe and kind of holding back. I need to be more bold about the choices I make, the things I do, and whatever it might be, And so that was kind of my word, and I think Jack was sharing, I think his word might be resilience. And Stan left a comment here saying, I mean it not in a selfish way. I just tend to take on too much and try too hard to help out. I've been told that it is okay to say no sometimes. And I don't know if you had more to say. It looks like it stopped at I, or I don't know if you meant to add that. And I think that's true. Let's see, how do I say this? Being selfless doesn't mean thinking less of yourself. It just means of thinking about others more. And so, and I think the way that we can most effectively help other people is to make sure that we are okay ourselves. Now, what that means is you don't compromise other people's well-being. Yes, it's not a selfish thing where you say like, oh, I could help this person, but I'm not going to, I'm not going to bother with that. It's like, no, you just have to, it's about balance. It's about recognizing, like, if there's a chance to help someone and you can, go for it. But, if you have, you have to be able to take care of yourself, and especially if you're a family man, if you've got a wife and kids, they're kind of your priority, and so just being able to provide for them, and it's not being selfish. It's just recognizing your priorities, recognizing what needs to be taken care of first before you are able to then assist someone else, and that's a tough lesson. I've had to learn that too. I'll share a funny story about that. So. Look, I'm trying to make a career in music, and because of that, my time, is my time. I mean, everyone's time is valuable, but the time I use is a lot more fulfilled when I use it in my music. Like when I'm using my time to work on my music, that's when I make the most progress. I mean, who'd have thunk, So it's like that's just how it works. Whatever you're striving towards, the only way you're going to get closer to it is if you are investing your time in pursuing that thing. And so whenever you use that time instead to do other things, it's keeping you from getting closer to that initial goal. So a couple of years ago, I can't remember how many, it was actually fairly recent, but had a friend from my church who reached out to me and my brother, texted us saying, hey, I've got a friend who has a venue that they're trying to promote for weddings, and they want to do some pictures of it set up for a wedding, and they need someone to play as the groom. Would either of you be willing to to help out with that? And me, I've kind of learned this. I learned this lesson the hard way, but what I've since learned is, like, let your yes be yes and your no be no. Don't be a maybe, because if you say maybe, then people are going to take that as yes. So I made the mistake of saying, well, if you can't find anyone else, I guess I could do it, because I wanted to be considerate, but, really I didn't want to do it, but it was more like, if they absolutely couldn't find someone, I was willing. But nope, I made that mistake. I said, if you can't find anyone else, then I could do it. And they're like, all right, well, great. Well, that we could use your help. And before I knew it, I was dragged into it. Now, thankfully, I did get paid for the gig, but it actually ended up being very awkward because had no idea, what to expect. But they got a suit for me that fit me pretty good. So I was playing as the groom. Turned out, oh my gosh, this is pretty embarrassing, but turned out one of my cousins, a fairly distant cousin, was playing the bride, and I didn't know it. So basically, I was set up for a wedding to be married to a cousin of mine. So I was like, oh, that's just great, you know. But they didn't have us doing anything too, too affectionate with each other. But we just kind of posed together for pictures, you know. We did like hold hands and smile. There were a few like little awkward things, but you know, we goofed off about it, made the best of it we could. But again, best thing I can say is at least I got paid for that gig. But you know, in the future, I've kind of learned like if there's something that I don't have to do, and it's kind of outside of my priorities and stuff, then there's nothing wrong with saying like, hey, you know, like I wish I could help, but I just can't. I've got other priorities right now. And that doesn't take away, that's not an excuse to use every single time. You know, whenever there is an opportunity to help, I very much try to do that. But it's kind of recognizing like, you know, knowing your limits and knowing what you can handle. And so something like that was more so, yeah, Jack's laughing at that. Yeah. Something like that was really, you know, it's one thing, like if someone asks like, hey, I could use your help, you know, playing music for something, you know, at least that's in the same ballpark of what I'm doing. But, you know, posing for wedding photos, you know, that's just totally out of my realm. You know, it's not like it was like a serious issue like someone really needed help with. It was just something they were looking for, and they probably would have found someone else, but they just found me first. And so it's just kind of using discernment and stuff. But hopefully that kind of makes sense, and just like, you know, understanding your limits, understanding like when you can actually help, and understanding when it's something that's like, no, this is pulling me away from something that that is much more of a priority in my life right now. So yeah, it definitely is a balancing act. But yeah, so don't be don't be too hard on yourself. Yeah, Stan says I was smiling. Yep. But yeah, don't be too don't be too hard on yourself. There's nothing wrong with investing yourself and trying to take care of yourself, because if you can't take care of yourself, how can you take care of other people? You know, and it's just a balancing act again. Selfish is when you're not concerned with other people. Selfish is when all you care about is yourself. But selfless is, just recognizing when you can help people, and recognizing when you have things in your life that are a priority that you need to take care of first before you are able to help someone else. So Jack says, it's a cute story, Quincy. I hope my chuckle didn't offend. No, I'm glad y'all are getting a kick out of it. So, again, there's me, if you want like a really funny kind of example, the reason I even went through with telling that story was just to kind of exercise that boldness. See, I'm already trying to put it into exercising. I didn't have to tell that story. I could have said, oh, that's an embarrassing story, I don't want to share that. But that's me just trying to exercise the word for the year, which is boldness. So so hopefully that kind of helps out. For anyone just tuning in, don't be shy. And if there's, I'm taking song requests. So not any song. These are my songs, pray tell. So if you are familiar with my music, then please make a request, and I will play that song just for you. If you're not familiar with my music, well, if you're watching on YouTube, you can find a song list in the description, and whichever title sounds kind of interesting, just pick a title and I'll play it, and we'll find out if you like it or not. If you're watching on Twitch, you can find the song list pinned at the top of the chat. So awesome stuff. And if no one has a request in the next few minutes here, I'll go ahead and I'll just pick something and play another song. But yeah, so hopefully that kind of helps out. It's it definitely takes some work, and that's something I've certainly had to learn myself. And I'd have to think on it more to give a more articulate answer, but it's it's always good to be willing to help. It's always good to strive, but you also that's where discernment comes in. Just knowing like when you can help, and knowing when it's better for you, like just kind of like there are other things that you need to attend to first. Jack says, I heard a quote today that went something like, the man who is always there for others will find there is no one there for him when he needs help. And that's an interesting quote, and I think there's some truth to that, because I kind of realized that myself. I don't want to get like, too deep in my life story, unless you guys are interested in hearing more. If you have any questions, I can certainly answer them. But, I feel like I've already shared a lot. But I can say, with past, when I was younger, again, you kind of feel incomplete. And I thought I needed like a relationship with a girl to to complete me, to help me fill. And I later learned that no, that's something I've got to fill myself. You know, I can't rely on someone else. If I can't provide for myself, how am I supposed to provide for someone else? If I can't take care of myself, if I can't appreciate myself, if I can't love myself, how am I supposed to love somebody else? You know, and so I kind of took time to focus on my relationship with God. That's the biggest thing. That's what's made the biggest impact on my life, is as I drew closer to God and I just realized like how much He loves me and how gracious He is. It helped me better love myself. And I'm cautious to say that word because I think some people talk about self-love, and what they do mean is they do mean selfishness. They mean like, you know, overindulging yourself. But and while I think that can be unhealthy, that doesn't mean that the correct thing to do is to hate yourself. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't hate yourself. And if you do hate who you are, then that simply means that there are things in your life to work out to become somebody that you can like, you know. And that's certainly something that's changed in my life. You know, when I was about 16 through my kind of later teen years and early young adult years, I'm not sure I liked who I was. There were a lot of parts of myself that I was ashamed of or that I hated. And it was my relationship with God that helped me recognize, like, I don't have to hate myself, you know, because He doesn't hate me, you know, in spite of who I am, in spite of my weaknesses and mistakes. He still loves me. And that just meant a lot, you know, and it really changes your perspective of yourself and the world and how you view others. You know, when you learn to love yourself that way and learn to accept yourself in spite of your imperfections, it helps you accept others in spite of their imperfections. And so, it's a very important skill. You know, we can only, we can't control those around us. We can only control ourselves. And so that's definitely, something to kind of focus on first. Not at the expense of others, but with the intent to then share that love, share what you've learned, share how you've improved with others, to connect with others. You know, that's the improvement there. So Stan has a request for the song For You, so I will play that in just a moment. And Stan says, if no one else is requesting, say that it's over. You sing it so well. Well, thank you, Jack. I appreciate that. I'll do both of those. I'll do For You, and I'll do Say That It's Over. Stan says, with my texting skills, we would be here all night, LOL. Well, no worries. Well, if it helps, I can play a song, and you can text while I'm playing the song, unless that distracts you from being able to appreciate it. Let me go ahead and dive into these songs here. I'll go ahead and play For You, and then maybe we'll chat a little bit, and then I'll play Say That It's Over. So, all right. Here we go, Stan. This one goes out to you. This one's for you. It's called For You.
I know you've coped with this loneliness. You think you're okay, but you've been dragged. I'm out here pleading, but you can't hear me. Your silent screams are deafening. Well, ignore my warning. Just know that I'm sorry for you. Then all this time, just know that I've tried for you. Come back to me. Trying to fix one problem caused another. But you still let go. And from the distance, I can see what's missing. You never listen, so you'll never know. Well, ignore my warning. Just know that I'm sorry for you. Then all this closest friend and my deepest wound, my most painful scar, and I cherish you. Well, ignore my warning. Just know that I'm sorry for you. And all this time, just know that I'm trying for you. Come back to me.
Thank you. Again, that one was called For You, and that was requested by Stan. Stan, thanks for the request. For anyone just tuning in, don't be shy. Say hello. And I'm taking song requests for my original songs. So if you'd like to make a request, you can find the song list if you're watching on YouTube in the description. If you're watching on Twitch, it should be pinned at the top. Pinned at the top of the chat. That song was called For You, and I have released that song. So if you enjoyed it, what's happening here? Okay. Oh. Sorry, I'm grabbing the link for it. Yeah, if you enjoyed that song, it is available on Spotify or wherever you like to listen to music. So, yeah, thank you for the applause, you all. Appreciate that. But yeah, here is the link. Forget. All of a sudden, here we go. There we go. There's a link for it. So if you'd like to check it out later, you can listen to it again. All right, catching up with the chat here. Jack says, "You're very profound in your outlook, Quincy. It's always a pleasure hearing what you have to say." Well, I'm glad you enjoy it. And again, that's I guess I'm taking this stream to be a little open, a little honest. But yeah, how do I say this? Sometimes I feel like I've kind of figured out some things that have worked for me. And, I hope they can be helpful to others, but at the same time, there's a part that's like, no one wants to hear you babble on, so, and I'm like, it's kind of those things like, that I'd like to share some insights that have kind of just helped me through life and in hopes that it might help someone else. But at the same time, it seems more appropriate if someone asks for that, then, if someone asks for my opinion, that's when to give it. But if nobody knows that I have an opinion to give, how will they know to ask for it? So it's kind of that conundrum, I guess. But I'm glad, but thank you for the kind words. And I do hope that, that I can phrase things in a way that makes sense and hopefully that you find encouraging or uplifting and yeah, help you because just so you guys know, I'm rooting for all of you, wherever you are in life, whatever circumstances you're facing or dealing with, I really appreciate you guys and I'm hoping the best for you. And especially with this being the new year, it's the beginning of the new year, this is definitely, for me, it's a time of reflection. I'm definitely, a time where I'm thinking deeply about things, looking over the past year, but also thinking of the year to come and what I want to strive and achieve. And all I can say is I just, I hope the best for you all as well. So, Stan says, I can't rock out and type. Yeah, so, yeah, I had suggested, if you had something to say and you weren't the best texter, to maybe try typing it while listening. But, yeah, I guess if you're too busy rocking out, that might not be the most helpful suggestion. But Jack says, this is a beautiful song as well. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And thanks. That means a lot. Stan says, I'm thinking my word might be first. Yep, first could be a good one. And again, I don't know if you want to expound on that because If first, based on what we were discussing, I don't know if by first you mean, recognizing what needs to happen first, recognizing what are the priorities in your life, what are the things that are most important. And it is kind of, priorities are kind of an interesting thing, priorities are not, how do I say this? Wherever we are in life, we're going. Priorities are just a part of life. Like, we're all in different circumstances, and there are going to be certain things in our life that are in fact priorities. And I think sometimes, in a weird way, again, something I kind of struggle with sometimes is the things that should be a priority in my life. Sometimes I put them on the back burner and I do something else instead because it's something that's maybe a little bit easier to do. Maybe the priority is something I'm a little scared of because it requires some responsibility. It requires some accountability, and it's a lot easier to just kind of put it off and do a smaller task. Something that isn't that important in the large scale of things, but in the small scale, it's something that I can do quickly and get a little bit of instant gratification, even though I'm not actually progressing at anything. And that's certainly something I've struggled with, and I think that's why recognizing your priorities and being clear about them is important, because that's how you grow, that's how you improve. Being clear about what those are, and then holding yourself accountable to take responsibility and acknowledge those priorities and make them happen. Take care of that big stuff first, and then the time you have remaining, that's when you've got room to kind of handle those smaller things that pile up in life. So, but yeah, hopefully, again, this is the kind of person I am. In case you guys haven't figured this out yet, I just like to think about things. I'm kind of a deep thinker, and I will literally, when I'm alone, I kind of pace to myself and I'll think out loud a lot, and I'll kind of talk and kind of ask questions and kind of wonder about them. And, when in my personal devotion time, when I'm reading scripture, a lot of times I'm seeking scripture on things I'm trying to learn, things I'm trying to understand about life, depending on what season I am, whatever I'm going through. Recently I've been reading through the Gospels, and when I'm almost done. I'm almost done with the last book, the last book of the Gospels, John. And the next thing I'm planning on reading, I'm again, with my word being boldness, I'm kind of looking to find some examples of boldness in Scripture. And probably the first things that come to mind are people like David. David was a very, very bold person. He was a king. He was a leader. And looking to someone like him and kind of drawing inspiration from him and learning from what he did right, and also learning, what he didn't, learning from his mistakes and hopefully avoiding those same mistakes myself. And then people like Solomon, who just had great wisdom. Wisdom is something that I'm always striving to be more wise. I'm always striving for that. It's just something I've just recognized it, as, when I was young, just for whatever reason, wisdom was like a good thing to me. It's just like that. It seems like a very useful thing that a lot of people, I think, don't strive to acquire. I think people are just like, I'm just going to do what feels right in the moment, and a lot of times that leads to a lot of trouble. A lot of times that might lead to some instant gratification, but usually there are consequences afterwards, whereas wisdom, takes a little more time to acquire, takes a little more time to assess, but once you gain it, it's very much a helpful guide for life and for overcoming, the various struggles and challenges that you're going to face in life. And so I'm I enjoy kind of thinking deeply. I enjoy deep conversation and kind of pondering those things. Stan says, if I put God first, truly first, and trust in Him, the rest should work out. And if it doesn't, remember He is in control. And yes, that's absolutely true. And I think that's a good word. Again, God is a priority. It's sort of interesting. I've had to learn that too. As I drew closer with God, it's hard to put God first when you don't trust Him. And you're not going to trust him if you don't know him. You might know of God. You might have heard of God. You might have heard of church. You might have heard of the Bible. But if you haven't actually sought after him yourself, if you haven't actually read Scripture and kind of see like and prayed to God and kind of try to seek like, what does God want to do with me? Why did he make me? What's my purpose? Then you're never really going to know him. And if you don't know him, you're never going to trust him. And part of trusting him is going to take moments where it's going to take moments of faith, moments where you don't know for sure what's going to happen. You don't know for sure what's going to play out. And you're just going to kind of have to take that leap of faith. And what I've found is that God shows up. And when he does, that's what solidifies that relationship. And that's what helps me trust him more. And that's what increases my faith so that the next leap of faith I have to take might be something even bigger, might be something harder, and it might be, but it's still progress, it's still growth, it's still, improving, and so everything, in relationships, if Jesus said that the two most important commandments are to love God and to treat others as you would treat yourself. So if you love God, that means you're going to live your life in a way that pleases him. And that's going to keep you out of a lot of trouble. And that's also going to bring a lot of fulfillment. If you're living to please God, that means you are going to strive to love other people. You're going to strive to be accepting and forgiving. But you're going to strive to be, you're going to strive to avoid doing what is wrong, but also trying to do what is good. And again, if I can share for myself, hey, Daniel says heading back to work. Daniel, appreciate you stopping by, and I hope you have a great 2024. Definitely rooting for you and everything, all your goals and aspirations. I hope you have a great night. Hope work goes well for you, and appreciate you, brother. Thanks for tuning in. But I was just saying, for myself, I think sometimes I do a good job at avoiding the bad, but I don't always step up to do the good, if that makes sense. It's like, sure, I've done a good job, staying out of trouble and not getting involved with anything that is going to have serious consequences or is going to be harmful to me or hurtful to other people. I'm good at avoiding that. But at the same time, almost in fear of doing that fear keeps me from being bold and stepping out and doing something that could be good, something that could be beneficial, something that could be helpful to someone else. And so that's certainly something I'm trying to work on, and again, putting God first helps with that, and putting God first helps you to love your spouse better. It helps you in that relationship. It helps you to love your children better, helps you to love your family, the people in your lives, helps you to be more grateful for what you do have. It's very important. So again, kind of back to priorities, just kind of recognizing like the things that should be first in your life. And absolutely, I think that's a great thing, Stan. Jack had made a request for Say That It's Over. And I'm going to go ahead and play this song, and then depending how things go, if someone new shows up and makes a request, I'll probably play another song. But I do think we might put a wrap on this soon. But yeah, let me go ahead and play this song for you, Jack, and then we'll see. We might be wrapping up things soon, depending what happens from the song and after the song. Maybe we'll have time for one more if someone else shows up to make a request. But otherwise, we might put a wrap on this for now. And so I will say this. It's kind of funny. Actually, it's probably not really that funny. That's my way of saying, like, I don't know. That's my way of saying I'm insecure about what I'm about to share and stuff. But the streams really have improved. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. There's always going to be some variety is not the right word. Some inconsistency with these streams. Every now and then there's going to be streams where not a whole lot of people show up. Sometimes it's just the few of us, and not a whole lot of views, not a whole lot of people watching and engaging. And then for whatever reason, sometimes there will be other streams where it's just like, man, there's a lot of people in the chat, and there's a lot to talk about, and a lot of people are really engaged with, what we're doing in the stream. And those are always the best. And, this is the first stream of 2024, and, it's not a whole lot of people showed up today. And that just makes me, first off, I'm grateful for those of you who did show up. I really appreciate you guys. I can never express just how much it means. I really enjoy connecting with you guys, and I do hope you get something out of my streams. And I'm striving to improve. I'm striving to bring out more music. I'm striving to improve the streams, and hopefully, hopefully bring more to you guys, just to share that appreciation. So that's certainly something I'm working towards. But I could say, looking over the past year, January last year was like, crickets, kind of similar to today's stream, but, not a whole lot happening. Even the quality of the streams, I didn't have these lights. I wasn't kind of just whatever I wore the day. That's what I wore for the stream. I wasn't, trying to kind of make myself a little more presentable, to be entertaining and to put on more of a show. And, but by the end of the year, December and November were great. Lots of people watching, lots of good engagement and stuff like that. And that's not to say that every now and then, again, there's always going to be kind of a stream that isn't quite as active, but that's just how it goes. And I typically find that if I have, maybe it's because I'm just getting back, even though I'm just coming back, it's not like, oh, he's back. Usually I need to get back into doing streams consistently, and then that's when people start kind of showing up again. So, but I guess all that to say that I really do appreciate you guys showing up, and I'm very hopeful, even if today isn't necessarily a reflection of how far I've come with these streams. If you've been a part of some of my past streams, you've seen that we get a lot of people in the chat sometimes, and I'm very excited for that, and I'm very excited to grow that. I'm hopeful that will. Again, I think this is an example of that 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of thing, where you kind of have that peak growth, but then you're still going to have those times that don't perform as well. And that's just kind of how it goes, And, but I'm hopeful that, by the end of this year, 2024, that things will be even bigger, that we'll have even more people, we'll make more friends, more connections. I'll have more music for you guys. The streams will be better. I'm excited for those things to happen. And, certainly rooting for them to do. So this was a request from Jack. This one's called Say That It's Over. Here we go.
Smile so deceptive that it almost looks real. Well, it must be hard to fake what you do not really feel. You're hiding, I know it. Tell me what's on your mind. I only wish to help. Won't you let me back inside? Say that it's over. Tell me the truth just one last time. I promise I'll help you. If only you'll let me back inside. Let me inside. Your face shows no reaction when I call out your name. Your presence like a ghost. You seem so far away, and you know that I love you, but the words seem to have died. I just want this to end. Please let me back inside. Say that it's over. Tell me the truth just one last time. I promise I'll help you. If only you'll let me back inside. Let me inside. Drift your eyes, just look at me when I look at you, because you must realize you're barely holding on, and I'm holding tight. Would you just please try? Don't give in, you have to fight. Why won't you hear my cry? And I don't wanna say goodbye. Say that it's over. Tell me the truth just one last time. I promise I'll help you. If only you'll let me back inside. Say that it's over. Tell me the truth just one last time. I promise I'll help you. If only you'll let me back inside. Say that it's over. And I don't wanna hear another lie. I just wanna help you. Please won't you let me back inside?
Thank you. That one was called Say That It's Over, and that was requested by Jack. Jack, thank you for the request. If you enjoyed that song, and that is one that I have released, so you can hear it again. It's available on Spotify or wherever you like to listen to music. So I'm going to grab a link here and going to post it in the chat, and yeah, there you go. So if you'd like to hear it again, there's the link for you. Catching up with the chat here. Chad says, been listening the whole time but working. Hey, nothing wrong with that. I'm glad I could provide some background music for you, and hopefully, you know, I know sometimes when there's not a lot of requests on this one, it can almost be more like a podcast than you know, than a music stream. But hopefully you enjoyed some of the conversation, and yeah, I hope work's going well for you, Chad. Chad, definitely appreciate you tuning in, and you know, thankful for getting to know you and developing a friendship with you and a lot of others that have been in the community you've made. And so yeah, thank you so much. Stan says, I'm going to cook burgers. That sounds good. My mom made burgers yesterday, and so that was delicious, and had some of that for lunch today. I love a good burger, so thanks for the hearts, Jack. Appreciate that. Jack says, I've got to go, but I thought this was another banger of a stream, Quincy, and I will only be hoping for wonderful things for you this year. Thanks, Jack. I really appreciate that. I hope you have a good night, and yeah, I'm hoping for a wonderful year for you as well, and yeah, take care. I do think that's going to be a wrap on the stream, but I definitely appreciate you all tuning in. Anyone watching now or on the replay, just want to let you know that if you'd like to support me, I'm going to post a link here. This is a gift shop link. Unfortunately, I don't really have any gifts in there right now, but there are a few things that you can check out. So there's the link right there. That's one of the goals this year. Hoping to actually have some merch so that you know, you guys can get a T-shirt or a hat or something. You know, working on that. You know, but. Anyway, if you'd like to support me by clicking that link, there is a virtual tip jar, and I definitely appreciate the support. You know, that just helps me to make improvements on this, to keep growing, keep doing this, and yeah, anything helps, and so I do appreciate that. If you'd like to stay notified about song releases, and you know, anytime I release a new song, anytime I'm going live, you know, posting a music video, whatever it might be, in that same link at the bottom, you can sign up for my email list. And so signing up, yeah, that just allows me to notify you directly and just keep you up to date with all the stuff that I'm doing. Aside from that, my biggest goal, you know, with all of this, you know, is growing my audience, you know, just trying to find more people who connect with the music. And so, you know, if you enjoy my music, you know, definitely sharing it, you know, inviting people to the streams, you know, any piece of content I post, you know, these streams, just liking and commenting, all that stuff really helps. And I definitely appreciate your guys' support. So, you know, Chad, Stan, Jack, Daniel, you know, I appreciate all of you tuning in. I hope you all have a wonderful 2024. And, you know, whatever your word is for the year, you know, I just pray, I just pray that it works out for you. I hope that it can serve as a guide, and that every part of your life, you just kind of reflect on that word, and kind of check in with yourself, and just make sure that you're living, that you're becoming the best version of yourself, that you are striving towards the goals that you've set, and that you're just believing that you can do it. It's going to take some work. There's going to be some mistakes. You're going to mess up along the way, but you can get there. So I'm rooting for you, and I'm hoping you all have a blessed 2024. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening or night, morning, afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. Until next time.